Intensity of this for competitive exams is very important here. So either a sample, when you take a sample and keep it in a magnetic field, it gets magnetized. To take so magnetic samples like so ferromagnetic substances, iron, cobalt, nickel, and keep it in a magnetic field, they get magnetized. The lines, magnetic lines of force, prefer to pass through them. Then as you increase magnetizing field, magnetizing force also, you can put it that way, H denoted by H, as gradually increase, the magnetic induction field also increases proportionately. So intensity of magnetization, this word, so you can expect in your intensity of magnetization. Intensity of magnetization. So denoted by I. Don't get confused. I we already use for angle of dip. So if you are confused, you use some letter, so rho or something, theta or something like this. Okay. It is I is given by this net magnetic moment. Capital M I am using net magnetic moment, capital M, for unit volume is called intensity of magnetization. So when you keep a magnetic sample, iron, cobalt, nickel, all these samples in the magnetic field, what I mean, it will develop net magnetic moment. In the beginning itself, we discussed in case of magnetic materials, they develop a net magnetic moment. The net magnetic moment developed per unit volume, here V represents volume, is called intensity of magnetization. This can be written like this: magnetic moment, it is also the product of magnetic length and pole strength. Don't get confused here. In your textbook, they might have used small m for magnetic moment. Here, small m represents pole strength. And then V is the volume. Volume of this magnetic sample, if you take it, it is length into cross-sectional area. So it is pole strength per unit area. It is also given by, so net by V, it is also equal to pole strength, small m by A, pole strength per unit area. The intensity of magnetization is defined as the net magnetic moment per unit volume, per unit volume. So M net, so net magnetic moment divided by V. It is also represented like this. Magnetic moment is the product of magnetic length and pole strength. M represents pole strength. 2L is the length of the bar magnet. So divided by volume. Volume is the length into cross-sectional area. 2L gets cancelled, so that we have M by A. Using this expression, units are very important. Intensity of magnetization, units. So use this ampere meter square, either any formula. Their volume is meter cube. So meter square gets cancelled. So ampere meter inverse. Even use this formula also here. Pole strength is measured ampere meter. The denominator here, area, is here meter square. Don't get confused. It is ampere. A stands for ampere meter. Okay, to avoid confusion, ampere meter. Here meter square. So 1 meter gets cancelled. So we have ampere meter inverse is the unit for intensity of magnetization. You will get it in your examination for 2 marks. Very units, and then so as well as definition. So for competitive exams, dimensional formula also important, right? Next, susceptibility. I don't know whether it comes under the limits of intermediate syllabus. Susceptibility is important, considered important topic for competitive exams. So susceptibility, so it is chi, it is denoted by chi. The intensity of magnetization per unit, so magnetizing field or magnetizing force, you can put it this way. So always the intensity of magnetization is proportional to magnetizing force or magnetizing field denoted by capital H. Will come across a proportionality concept denoted by chi. So it is written like this. So susceptibility chi is given by I by H, right? It is a simply a number, numerical value, no units, no dimensional formula. So this value decides whether it's a So ferromagnetic for ferromagnetic substance, the susceptibility permeability will be very high, right? As you gradually heat a ferromagnetic substances, this value gradually decreases and inversely proportional to absolute temperature. At a particular temperature, ferromagnetic substance will be converted into paramagnetic substance, that is called Curie temperature. So as you heat a ferromagnetic substance, it loses ferromagnetic qualities, it will be converted into paramagnetic substance at a certain temperature. That temperature, critical temperature at which ferromagnetic substance is converted into para, is called the Curie temperature. So this susceptibility inversely proportional to the absolute temperature. It has no units here. So this is about this. And then one more thing, only for competitive exam, hysteresis curve. The curve drawn, so magnetizing field or magnetizing force you can put, and either intensity of magnetization or B, if you take it, so gradually you increase the magnetizing force H value by keeping a sample, magnetic sample, ferromagnetic sample in uniform magnetic field, and gradually increase the magnetizing force H value. Then what happens here? The intensity of magnetization increases according to this curve. First it increases according to this curve, then like this cycle. So first, right, OA and then B, C, D. Like this increases, go to OA as H value increases gradually. This I value, magnetic intensity of magnetization, or B, magnetic induction, gradually increases and reaches certain maximum value. That's a saturated state. When it reaches saturated state, all the molecular magnets align themselves in an orderly manner. So it reaches saturated state, and after that, even you increase the magnetic, so for magnetic induction field, you increase, no change, saturated state. Then what happens? Gradually lower this. See, observe this. So lower this. What happens? So it will have some value when H is 0. When you decrease H value, when H is 0, to make H value 0, it has some I value, I or B value. So when H is 0, so value of I for which H is 0, that is called residual magnetism. It is also called retentivity. It is very important for competitive exam. Retentivity, or it is also called residual magnetism. To make permanent magnets, this value, retentivity, residual magnetism, should be very high to make permanent magnets. The hysteresis curve indicates the lagging behind of this I value. This I value over this H value. It is a closed curve. It is hysteresis curve. So here H value is reduced to 0. So when H is 0, still it has some I value, right? So the value of I, magnetic intensity of magnetization, or it is a residual magnetism for which H value is 0, magnetizing force is 0, that is called retentivity. So it is retentivity. This in the curve, this OB represents retentivity. I'll write it here. This is the curve. It's OB, this part. This is denoted by flower bracket. This OB part represents the retentivity. Or residual magnetism. Right? So this is about residual. So just observe, just logically remember, only for competitive exams is important here. So when gradually H value is lowered, so it is equated to 0. So this still the sample will have some residual magnetism or intensity of magnetism. Even this H value made 0, magnetizing force is 0. So that value is called retentivity or residual magnetism. All the permanent magnets. So for permanent magnets, this value should be high. Then the coercivity, the other one, horizontal direction. You see here, observe this. This OC represents, OC denote coercivity. See here further in the negative direction, H value lower like this here. See, so to at certain negative value, this I value becomes 0. So when increase in the reverse direction H value, so what happens? So to demagnetizing it, in order to demagnetize this, you have to apply H value in reverse direction. So then, so the magnetic force, so magnetic induction, magnetic force, so at which the I value becomes 0. So when I becomes 0, then this H value, of course, in the negative direction, H value, when I becomes 0, the H value graphically, the H value is denoted by OC. The H value is denoted by OC, represents this coercivity. So this is a this value should be very high for electromagnetics. Electromagnets, this value should be very high, right? This is about so Earth's magnetism, some the elements of magnetism. So all things are just put it in a nutshell. So magnet, so has magnetic field around it. The magnetic field is so represented by magnetic lines of force, the imaginary line. So along which unit north pole tends to move. So when placed at a point in the field, that is so magnetic line of force. Then magnetic lines of force, magnetic flux, the number of magnetic lines of force passing normally perpendicular to the surface, an area close the surface is called magnetic flux. Then flux per unit area, flux density, it is also called magnetic induction field. All these things we already discussed. And some basic characteristics or properties of magnetic lines of force. As we know, magnetic lines of force always, so they diverge from north pole and then converge at south pole. Always they start at north pole and then end at south pole, and inside the magnet, so they run from south pole to north pole, constituting a continuous closed loop. అవిచ్ఛిన్నంగా ఉన్నటువంటి ఒక సమృతమైన సో వలయాన్ని సూచిస్తాయి అయస్కాంత బలరేఖలు. నార్త్ పోల్ దగ్గర ప్రారంభమై సౌత్ పోల్ దగ్గర అవి ఎండ్ అవుతాయి అన్నమాట. సో అలాగే ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్ తీసుకుంటే విద్యుదావేశం తీసుకుంటే ఏమంటే అది పాజిటివ్ ధనావేశం నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి రుణావేశం దగ్గర ఎండ్ అయిపోతాయి అనమాట. అవి సో అవి సమృతం కావన్నమాట, ఓపెన్ లూప్స్ అనమాట. సో magnetic flux, then so we discuss so Gauss theorem in magnetism, we already discussed it. Then after that, so solenoid, so the bar magnet is equivalent to a solenoid, right? After that, so when a compass needle, magnetic needle is suspended in a uniform magnetic field, so it will experience torque, the restoring torque, then rotating torque. At equilibrium, they are equal in magnitude opposite in direction. Then we calculated time period of that compass needle or magnetic needle suspended in a uniform magnetic field. It executes simple harmonic motion. Then we determined or calculated the time period of this so magnetic compass needle placed in a uniform magnetic field. After that, Earth's magnetic field, and then elements of Earth's magnetic field. So what is the secret? So what makes Earth behave like a huge magnet? And after that, elements. So mainly three elements we discussed. So angle of declination, and then angle of inclination, it is also called angle of dip, and then horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So this will summing up this topic. And analogy, పోలికల్స్, సారూప్యత, ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్ మ్యాగ్నెటిజం కు ఉండేటువంటి సారూప్యత. సో ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్ స్థిర విద్యుదావేశ శాస్త్రం. ఇంతకుముందు చాప్టర్ లో మనం నేర్చుకున్న ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్, the beginning of electrostatics, their charge at rest, electric field is generated around it, then intensity of electric field and dipole concept, electric dipole concept, an equatorial line, and then axial line and equatorial line. We calculated intensity of electric field, all these things. So there is a lot of sarupyata and comparison between electrostatic and then magnetism. So ikkada ఎలక్ట్రోస్టాటిక్స్ లో మనం ఆల్రెడీ చదువుకున్నాం. సో ఎలక్ట్రిక్ ఫీల్డ్, సో రిప్రజెంట్ యూనిఫామ్ ఎలక్ట్రిక్ ఫీల్డ్ డినోటెడ్ బై E, capital E. ఇక్కడ magnetism లో so magnetic induction field capital B, intensity of magnetic induction field denoted by B like this. So here, so dipole moment, so electric dipole moment మనం అక్కడ P అని డినోట్ చేసుకున్నాం, ఇక్కడ dipole moment, సో ఇక్కడ M. Okay, this analogy ఇక్కడ 1/4 pi epsilon naught proportional to epsilon naught and permittivity అంటాం, permittivity. సో ఫ్రీ స్పేస్ శూన్యం యొక్క పర్మిటివిటీ అంటాం. ఇక్కడనేమో μ0/4 pi. సో ఇవన్నీ అనాలజీ. ఇక్కడ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ మూమెంట్, సో మనం ఇక్కడ డైపోల్ మూమెంట్, ఇది అయస్కాంతం మూమెంట్ అన్నమాట, రైట్. అలాగే ఎనర్జీ, సో పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీ, you try to derive that expression. One simple derivation is there, so if you want, just it's a matter of few minutes. The torque acting, we already discussed this torque acting on it, mb sin theta. This expression we already derived, tau, this expression we derived. So magnetic potential energy derive చేసుకోవాలంటే, in order to derive magnetic potential energy, so the work done in rotating against this torque or tau d theta, in order to rotate through small angle d theta, so the work done, okay, if you want you can put it, so dw, total work done is obtained on integrating this expression with appropriate limits, tau d theta. So this is integral dw. So tau is nothing but mb sin theta. So this mb being constant, take it outside, sin theta, integral sin theta minus cos theta. So we have minus mb cos theta. This total work done is preserved as magnetic potential energy. It is denoted by um like this. It is a very simple one, so we miss it, but it's denoted by minus m dot b, right. You just see, look at that expression here. If theta, I'll write it here again. Here, magnetic potential energy, it is given by um is written as minus mb cos theta. When theta is 0, cos 0 is how much? Cos 0 is 1. So when theta is 0, we have um value is given by minus mb cos 0 is 1. It will have minimum value. It is more stable, right. Magnetic dipole is very, very stable, more stable when theta is 0 degrees. And similarly, when theta is 180 degrees, then magnetic potential energy, so minus 1, you will get minus of minus, this minus of minus plus, or you can write it like so, cos 180 is minus 1 or plus mb. This is maximum value. It is a minimum possible value. It is minimum and it is very stable, this position. Here maximum value, it is very unstable. If theta is 90 degrees, then cos 90 is 0 into anything is 0, then so magnetic potential energy is 0 value. So when theta is 90 degrees, when theta is 0, it will have the minimum value minus mb, so it is very, very stable. And then theta 90 degrees, okay, so this theta is 0, then theta 180 degrees, if you take it, it will have positive value plus mb, maximum value, it is very, very unstable value, okay. So all these things, to put it in nutshell, so we try to cover almost all the points. For examination point of view, so Earth's magnetic field, define inclination, define declination, so horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field or related problems, because here this horizontal component BH is given by BE cos theta. This theta value will be given, and then you are supposed to calculate BH value or BE value depending upon the given question. This is about the Earth's magnetism. And then so magnetism and matter, you try to take up some assignment questions. So assignment questions, these are important for IP examination. First question, what is magnetic moment associated? What is the magnetic moment associated with a solenoid? magnetic moment associated with a solenoid so what is magnetic moment associated with a solenoid ఇంత సాలినాయిడ్ లో తో అనుసంధానమైన అయస్కాంత భ్రామకము తెలపండి అలాగే వాట్ ఆర్ ద యూనిట్స్ ఆఫ్ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ మూమెంట్ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఇండక్షన్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ వాజ్ ఆస్క్డ్ recently. What are the units of magnetic moment and magnetic induction I repeat, what are the units of magnetic moment and magnetic induction? అయస్కాంత భ్రామకము అయస్కాంత ప్రేరణల ప్రమాణాలు తెలపండి so we already discussed this here. So magnetic moment, it is a product of magnetic length and pole strength. It is always given by ampere meter square for magnetic moment. అయస్కాంత భ్రామకానికి ప్రమాణాలు ampere meter square. So alage magnetic flux or magnetic induction means flux density. It is denoted by this flux per unit area or Weber per meter square. It is also denoted as Tesla, right? There's another unit is also there. So this is given by Newton by IL, F by IL. If you use this only for competitive exams, Newton ampere meter. This is another unit. And third question, magnetic lines form continuous closed loops. Why? Magnetic lines form continuous closed loops. Why? So this is also here. Why? Because monopoles do not exist. In the beginning itself we discussed. So bar magnet, you make it into tiny pieces. Each individual piece behaves like a magnet. So monopoles do not exist. So always the magnetic line diverges from north pole, converges at south pole. Inside the material they run from south to north pole, forming a continuous loop, right? So monopoles do not exist, right? That this is one of the important questions. అయస్కాంత రేఖలు అవిచ్ఛిన్న సంవృత లూప్లను ఏర్పరుస్తాయి ఎందుకు? Next, define magnetic declination. So reminder here again, the angle between magnetic meridian and geographical meridian, that is called angle of declination or magnetic declination or angle of declination. తెలుగులో అయితే అంటే దిక్పాతం అంటారు, డెక్లినేషన్ దిక్పాతం. సో అయస్కాంత దిక్పాతాన్ని నిర్వచించండి. సో డిఫైన్ అయస్కాంత దిక్పాతాన్ని నిర్వచించండి, రైట్? సో అయస్కాంత యామ్యోత్తర రేఖ, భూ అయస్కాంత యామ్యోత్తర రేఖ మధ్యలో ఉండే కోణాన్ని, ద యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ ఎర్త్స్ మెరిడియన్, geographical meridian, magnetic meridian, geographical meridian, that is called angle of declination. దాన్ని తెలుగులో దిక్పాతం అంటారు. The last one, define magnetic inclination. తెలుగులో అయస్కాంత ప్రవణత లేదా దీని అవపాత కోణాన్ని నిర్వచించండి. దీన్ని మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి రిమైండ్ చేస్తే, టోటల్ ఎర్త్స్ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫీల్డ్ BE అనుకుంటే హారిజంటల్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎర్త్స్ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫీల్డ్, ఈ రెండింటి మధ్య ఉండే కోణాన్ని యాంగిల్ ఆఫ్ ఇంక్లినేషన్, అవపాత కోణం అంటారు. ఇవి త్వరగా నేర్చుకోండి, ఇట్ విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ. సో దిస్ విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ కంప్లీట్ దిస్ చాప్టర్. దీన్ని మేము చూడొచ్చండి ఇప్పుడు. Thank you very much. So students, so once again I'll remind you for IP examination, so angle of inclination, angle of declination, then why this magnetic lines of force form closed loops, why that very important. Learn it thoroughly. One question just is not so significant. When you take a magnetic compass needle to the poles, north pole or south pole, does it work? It does not work. Why? Because magnetic compass needle is designed to rotate in a horizontal plane. So when you take it to the north pole or south pole, there the horizontal component becomes zero. When the horizontal component becomes zero, it does not rotate. It does not work at all. Right? So thank you very much. Hope you understood the topic magnetism and then matter. అయస్కాంతత్వం ద్రవ్యం అనే అంశం గురించి మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం. మీకు అర్థమైందని అనుకుంటున్నా. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.